Welcome to Hucklearrows. I'm Mike Brennan. We are recording this at the world famous Next Core Studios in downtown Rochester, New York, in the historic Sibley Tower. I'm here with Ebuka Mgbenka of Money Pigeon, and he's working on a finance startup, which we're gonna get into in a little bit. But first, thank you for coming. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
And
having me.
you have a really interesting story. We've got to know each other
Mhm.
around Next Core here. I think the first time we met was at like one of the startup drinks or something, like one of the, there's so many of those different events, but at one of them. And it's like, wow, he's working on something very interesting. It's very unique in Money Pigeon.
Yeah.
But let's go back a little bit further into your journey and growing up in Nigeria.
Mhm.
What was that like, and how did you start getting interested in, I guess, building things, is kind of the background that you had, and with a strong core in engineering.
Yeah. Growing up in Nigeria was interesting. It was a diverse community. So for me, I've always loved building things. Right from when I was small, I loved building things, solving problems. Typically, while I was growing up, I just loved that. But at some point, I figured out I wanted to be an engineer because I was told that engineers are the ones that build things and create things. I didn't know the particular one I wanted to be, but
Mhm.
the engineering was the way to
That's
go
the
because
world. This
yeah,
is the world for me.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to
exactly.
build things.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but as I grew up, at some point, I figured out that I have to choose the particular type of engineering I wanted to do. Um, at some point, it was computer engineering. And then I narrowed it down to electronic engineering because I wanted to not just do stuff that has to do with computers. I also wanted to do stuff that had to do with just general electronics or building stuff, working on computers and things like that. So I later did electronic engineering. Um, Before then, I was introduced to computer programming by my cousin's friend. So he saw me. They were always, you know, programming, doing HTML, CSS, things like that. And I was really, really interested in that. I was just always watching them. And when they finish, I'll go and just try out my own stuff, build
Touch
web.
your own
Yeah,
code.
yeah.
And did they teach you, or were you just observing at that point?
So initially, I was just observing. I was just seeing what they were doing
Hmm.
because
And about how old are you?
this was a little before college. So I would say I was um this should be maybe 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
very young in
yeah,
terms of,
yeah.
yeah, like several years before college.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So I was just observing what they were doing. Then computer programming wasn't like very popular then. So they were doing it. They were in college and
Okay.
they were using HTML, CSS. They were, the friend was coding in Java. So so when they left, I would just try and replicate what they were doing, and I would just enjoy changing background colors and doing Maki and moving things
O-
around.
Okay. So building like websites and
Yeah,
putting it
you
out,
know, but that time it
there.
was really, really crude
Very
then.
crude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, but the thing is that the friend saw me doing that, and he then asked me um, if I liked doing this kind of stuff, that he can give me a book that will help me. I was like, yeah, that's, I would like you to give me a book. So he gave me this book. I think it's called Teach Yourself Java in 21 Days. I can't remember exactly the author, but yeah, that was what it was supposed to do. So every day you had something you had to read and an exercise you had to do. That was in Java. So I started doing that. And it was really interesting. That was how I started coding Java. So I started coding Java before I got into college, and from that time I just got interested in software
So you had a
development and stuff
big
like that.
jump start
Mhm.
into computer software engineering
Yeah.
before college.
Yeah.
So how did that change when you showed up? Because there's a certain curriculum,
Mm-hmm.
there's different books.
Yeah.
How was that experience? Did you find that the knowledge that you obtained was it started to be refined, like you learned more about it, or was it, oh, they want me to do it this way and I
Mm.
have to relearn or reteach myself the structure that my instructors want?
So for me then, learning computer programming and software engineering was more of a me thing, something that I just like to do. I didn't see it as something I had to do in college, right?
Okay.
So it was just, and in college it was electronic engineering, so it's a little bit,
Oh, okay. It was electronic engineering.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
wasn't focused on computer
Understood.
programming. I think we did a few courses on computer programming, but it also was also still get towards um, electronic engineering and engineering stuff. So I was just building this just as, I would say, a hobby at that point,
Okay.
right? Something that I just like to do. I remember then I had this group that I used to go to, and someone in college kind of programmed this calculator, scientific calculator, and I told myself, okay, I'll try and do that. Something like that. It was just something I was doing for fun.
Mixing physical hardware
Yeah,
with your hobby
yeah.
was something that started in college.
It was in college that I then started doing hardware, designing circuits and trying to build them. And even my final year project in college then was trying to combine both of them, have like a software that we connect to. That time, what we did was a library system, library management system that is going to kind of manage itself. So basically, the hardware, you have to use some kind of fingerprint to access the library. You can borrow
Cool.
books on the using the software. It kind of it will control the access based on that. So we had the hardware part built out and we had the software part built out. So it was just basically we were trying to just combine both the, if I would say, the hardware and the software together to build that library management system. So it was more, the software part was more something I like to do. Hardware I also like to do, but then hardware was more of the things I learned in college. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And as part of that experience, the software engineering,
Mm-hmm,
it remained as a hobby, and
mm-hmm.
and you continued to hone your skills,
Yeah,
even though your I mean, electrical engineering is no joke. It's very difficult
yeah,
in of itself.
yeah.
So um it's something of kind of keeping those things aligned and growing within them
Mm,
is quite uh the feat there. And and looking over your experience, you actually have a very impressive resume.
mm.
One of your
Thank you.
first experiences was with Google
Yeah,
while you're still at college,
yeah,
that you were working for them.
yeah.
So what was that like?
It was one of the, it was a very, very interesting experience for me, especially as a college student. I mean, at that time we used to, Google was huge. We used to hear about Google and everything. So that opportunity came out, and we were supposed to apply. I think we needed to write an essay and a couple of things. Also showed interest in what they were doing, so I applied for it. And I got in. The main thing was the experience because I got to meet students from different colleges because they brought different people from all around Nigeria. We had an orientation, and during the orientation, we had to meet. It was an interesting. I think I met some of the smartest people as of that time
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
particular
Yeah, world class,
experience. Yeah,
right? Like, I
yeah,
mean, Google is a world
yeah,
class organization. They have
yeah,
some of the best talent. So, that's to start your, I mean, essentially your career, whether it be you're still in college or whatever, with
yeah.
that type of um, uh, you know, world famous, where they attract the best of the brightest.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool,
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah.
So you said you were almost an ambassador, and you met other people from other colleges who
Yeah.
were in the Google
Yeah.
um system or program,
Yeah.
right? And so you would do meetups and basically work with the Google suite, or what kind of um what kind of applications and work did that involve?
So we were supposed to be more like ambassadors to student ambassadors, Google student ambassadors in
Okay.
colleges, right? So yes, you're correct. We organized events. We organized meetups. The idea is to try to integrate Google and Google Suite to students. Uh, Show students how to use some of those the Google Suite that they had for different to do different things that students did like writing papers, doing different things, uh, Gmail, everything,
Yeah.
the
The
whole
whole
suite.
suite, the whole
Yeah,
suite.
yeah.
Yeah. So you have
W-
to be really knowledgeable about
yeah,
all of those services and
absolutely,
products
absolutely.
as
We,
well
we
too.
went through that. So part of for us, we have to be knowledgeable about it. We had to also integrate with the students or organize events to be able to um, tell them about the things that are happening. We also sometimes we even hosted people from other colleges or even outside the country, because I remember uh, a particular event we had to host some Googlers from Kenya. They came to our school, so it was a nice experience. Both the kind of people that I met, the kind of event that we did. Um, uh, it was really really good as
Yeah. So
for a
tremendous.
student.
Sounds like a really tremendous experience. Are
Yeah,
you still in touch with any of the people from that program? Have
yeah.
you yeah.
Especially some of the students.
Mhm.
I'm still in touch with them. I stay connect with them. Most of them doing really really great things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And well, what's an example of somebody's from that's doing
So
something interesting?
I have a friend that he first built a company. He was in ed tech. He was helping people, more like trying to make it easier for people to find teachers for extracurricular learning for students. Parents find a way to find teachers that can teach at schools
Oh,
after
cool.
school. And it made it very easy. It was really big doing that, and the way he executed it was really interesting. I think he's still doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So working for one of the largest tech companies in the world in college, and then you moved into software development
Hmm.
after college. That was your that's did you seek that, or going through the electrical engineering degree,
Hmm.
did you learn you through that process you just enjoyed software development and engineering more, or how did you come to that? You're getting out of college and your first couple positions were as a software engineer and head developer.
Yeah. I like both software and hardware, but yeah, like you're correct. I think I liked software a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
because I gravitated to it a little bit more, and I did so during college. I also did an internship, and the internship I also did it in a software company.
Okay.
So I from then, after working there as an intern, when I immediately I graduated, they also invited me back to work with them a little bit. So after college, I went back and I worked with them immediately after that. So yeah, I think I
That's
gravitated to be more to software.
yeah,
That's why.
yeah. And how is that? You know, they obviously didn't take it into consideration. It was like, well, this is not what your degree is in. This is what you studied, but because you it was more about what you could do, and also, well, if he could be an electrical engineer, he's got
Yeah.
the mind for the software development and engineering. Is that
Yeah, for
it?
them, it's more about, you know, the ability to do it. When it comes to software development, I think most companies just really are more interested in what you can do as opposed to your degree. And the software company I did my internship with, some of the founders actually studied engineering.
Okay.
So it
So
was, I
it's
mean, they
not
understood.
uncommon.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
uncommon.
uncommon for them.
And
Yeah.
what type of software were you working on?
I was working on enterprise applications and enterprise software, so, enterprise web applications.
Okay.
So it was more for companies, other companies, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Uh,
enterprise. And was it a specific application, or was it more, overall there's just whatever needed to be done, you're working on?
um. So during my internship, I worked on a specific project. After that, uh, I mean, they always put you on a project, and if that project is delivered, then can be moved to another project. So it's more on project by project basis. It just depends. The idea is not necessarily to put you on a specific type of project. It's just to it's more like allocating resources. Okay, we need people to build this project, and
Mm-hmm.
you're available, and they put you on that project to
Oh,
build
okay,
it.
I
Yeah.
gotcha. So that led to another software developer position at another company,
Mhm.
what was called Byteworks Technology
Yeah.
Solutions. And then you parlayed that into a head developer.
Mm.
So what how did that happen? How did that jump up, rather early in your career to a head developer happen? And what was that like in terms of the responsibility changes? I'm assuming
Mhm.
you had people underneath you at that point, or you were directing the project at a high level.
So yeah, I worked at Byteworks. I moved to another city, and when I was there, I started working with Byteworks. It was also a software company. They had projects they were working on. Uh, then for a short period, I and my friends actually started a small company. And then we are trying to also build solutions wanted to build solutions for schools, also some kind of accounting solutions. And I was basically leading that. I was leading the development side of that. I was working with um, a couple of my friends, so it was brief, but it was also a very good experience, because we wanted to just build. We saw a gap, especially when it comes to school management software. Most schools didn't have any software to manage anything.
Yeah.
They were doing everything manually. So wanted to build a software that will help them to do that. But that was brief, and then shortly after that, that was when I then traveled.
Was that for internally? Was that for universities and colleges? Was that to manage like students that were enrolled and help them, you know, maintain their classes?
Colleges, we wanted to start first with high schools, like
Oh, okay,
secondary
got
schools.
you.
And yeah, the idea was to manage but like their timetables, manage their grades, manage school fees payments, um for the students and for the staff, which is like their teachers, and for the school. So it
So a bit
was,
of HR as well too.
yeah,
Yeah, HR and
exactly.
hiring. Cool.
So it was more like we are trying to build a full suite that they can use to make you know things more streamlined and make it better for them. Yeah.
So you you're out of school maybe at this point, like 4 or 5 years. You have all of this experience.
Mm. I think this was about a year after school.
Oh, so you're still like fresh. You're still
Yeah,
fresh.
about
And
about a year and a half
yeah,
after school. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So take me from that point to um coming to America, and what did that path look like,
Mhm.
and how did you make that decision of coming all the way to the US from Nigeria?
So yeah, at that point, most of my family was moving to the US. Some we are already in the US, and the idea was to move to the US. For me, I after college, I was basically honestly, I just wanted to work on projects because I really wanted to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wanted to work on different projects, see how they work, see how all those, because yes, there were so many. There's a whole difference from just being able to write code and develop software to actually supporting and maintaining uh, a live deployed project to clients and all those stuff. So I wanted to have that experience. But there was also, it was also, you also knew, I also knew that I was going to be traveling or moving to the US um, at some point because uh, my family was already doing that and we already discussed it. It was, so when that time came to travel, I was working, I think I was working with Byteworks then. um
Okay.
yeah, I was working with Byteworks then, and I told them that I actually need to move. My parents had already moved then and they wanted all of us to
Cool.
move, so yeah.
Cool. So when you did move here, did you have a job lined up, or was it, you gotta get here first in a lot of cases, I imagine, because they want to, if somebody's going to hire you, like, hey, you got to be here, right?
Yeah, yeah. Most of the people that I contacted wanted, they were like, okay, this looks good, but let us know when you get here. Like, in fact, it was the same thing even across cities, because the first time I got to Maryland, it was Maryland. That was me, if I would say, my touchdown,
Sure.
right? So, but I then started reaching out. Some of them were reaching out to me also, and they wanted. I wanted to stay in Chicago, so, and they were also telling me, okay, let us know when you get to
When you get to
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
And one thing, because I know we talk about food a lot,
Mhm.
so I think I want to weave that in through our conversation. How long did you spend in Maryland when you first arrived here?
I didn't spend a lot of time in Maryland. I think maybe 2 3 months.
Okay,
It
2 or
wasn't a
3
lot.
months.
Yeah.
Enough to maybe try some food there.
Yeah.
So, was there any standout, like, cuisine? This is your first time,
It was
like, living here, right?
yeah, it was my first time, and it was, at that point, it was more like a guided tour.
Okay.
Because most places that I was going to, I had to go with my siblings or something like that. I think we went to one restaurant. I just can't remember the name right now. Um, it was,
Doesn't matter.
for me, I was trying to get the experience, take it all in, like the differences and how things worked, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What were some of the differences that surprised you from those first couple months living here?
First of all, it was colder than I thought it was. I
What time of the
imagined.
year was it?
So, and it wasn't supposed to be a cold period. I think I came around towards the end of summer, so
Hmm.
it was supposed to
Still be warm.
be
Yeah.
warm. But I guess, well, getting into fall is also not that warm. So fall. I mean, right now, fall weather is good, is great. But then coming from Nigeria, it felt
It's a bit of a
cold.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And what about something like we use, the imperial system here instead of the metric?
at that point, I hadn't started getting very, very in touch with some of,
Was
like,
that a big because I go whenever I try, I'll like I and that's the it's ingrained is if temperatures in Celsius. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that must be, yeah, that sounds really hot, but I don't know the exact conversion or.
I noticed it mostly driving. No, when I started trying to get my license and driving and all, I it was when um because in Nigeria we use kilometers per hour,
Mhm.
and here
It's all miles per hour.
miles per
Yeah,
hour.
that's a
So
that's a bit of a
yeah,
change. You get
so
any speeding tickets? Did you?
no, 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 I didn't. I didn't.
Oh, that's
I
good.
mean, I saw it and I was very conscious of it. I could see, and some cars also do have the
They
other.
do,
Yeah.
yeah. They have both,
So,
which is nice,
yeah,
especially like all the like European
yeah,
and Japanese usually
yeah,
have that,
yeah,
which is standard. But okay, so you go from the first couple months, and then you move to Chicago.
yeah,
Okay, and I guess we'll finish on that note. Was there, because I know Baltimore is known for like, I guess like crabs and stuff like that. What is there like?
mm,
Yeah, I think of that's something that I'm just pulling. I've spent a little bit of time there, um, but I know Maryland blue crabs or something. I have to fact check myself here, but um, going from there to Chicago, which is major metropolitan
yeah,
city. You had some family there
yeah,
already, I take
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah. I had an uncle that lived in Chicago. So yeah, I moved there. Chicago is kind of different
Mhm.
from Maryland.
Much
It's
different than Rochester too,
different from
big
Rochester
time,
too.
right?
So yeah, and Chicago was really beautiful. When I like going there, it was beautiful. It was also getting cold at that point, and
Yeah, yeah. I
snowy and
always
all.
saw. I'm thinking when you had mentioned that previously, I'm like, you're going from you know very warm climate to one of the most harshest cities in America during the winter. They call it the Windy City.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what was that first winter like there?
And that first one, I'm not sure if I got used to the cold or not, but that first winter was really really terrible. It was I had a winter jacket that I got from Nigeria, but I quickly learned that that wasn't enough, so I had to go and get something
Get
that
a
was really
get
really,
new gear,
yeah,
get new
the
boots. Was there a lot of snow that first
yeah, it
winter?
was a lot of snow, but not just the snow. It was really really cold. It was like I remember sometimes even if it didn't snow, you come out on the road and the road was basically frozen.
Frozen. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's like you could see the frost
And
on the
that's
yeah,
even more dangerous
yeah,
sometimes because then you don't
exactly,
know when it's right. It's
uh,
like that in Rochester too. Yeah, I
absolutely.
think
So
this winter was pretty brutal. It's the
yeah,
most brutal one we've had in a while. And so you show up, you're dealing with the winter, and uh getting acclimated to the country
yeah,
and your new job, because once you get into Chicago,
yeah.
what was that work transition like?
Um, at this point, it was more of an experience. I was like excited, right? Starting to work and what's to be like working and the kind of because then the job I got was with Bosch and I was working as an IoT
Internet of
engineer.
Things.
Yeah, Internet of Things.
Bosch, huge company.
Yeah,
They do a lot of auto, a lot of refrigerators, I think.
yeah. It's
A
an
lot of
engineering company.
appliances.
Yeah,
They have a lot of different German company.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole idea, the whole Internet of Things was very interesting to me, and still
It's
trying to
still.
exploring it.
And what was there anything that you could talk about that you were working on there that was interesting in the Internet of Things? Was it certain uh, programs built into their appliances, or was it in their uh, auto line, or how did that position? How is that structured? The work there.
So they sort of tried at that point. It was new, still new, but they were integrating it in basically most of their product manufacturing, things like that. They wanted to, you know, Internet of Things, of course, is being able to collect data from things, find a way to connect them to the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you can sense them, you can collect data, you can know what is happening, and allows you to make better decisions or to be able to control things better, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's extremely relevant, and I think it's expanded since
Yeah, yeah,
your
it's
time
gotten
there, right?
a whole lot
Yeah.
better right now, and a whole lot more. It's almost part of everything right now.
All right. So you're at Bosch, you're getting adjusted to the climate, and so then I want to definitely talk about the food in Chicago because I think that's important
Mhm.
as uh as a step in just understanding that. And also, you hadn't thought of becoming an entrepreneur up until this point. But you're really curious about, working on things, uh building things,
Yeah,
fixing things,
yeah.
creating of internet of things in physical items. When how did that start, when you decided you wanted to be an entrepreneur, um and you know when you realized there was that something else that you weren't going to be able to build at a large enterprise company?
So in terms of becoming an entrepreneur, I didn't think about it in that way. So I thought about it in a sense that, okay, there's this problem and I want to solve that problem. So it was more like I experienced something and I was trying to build a solution for that thing that I experienced, so that other people, but me and other people, can actually have a better experience with that. So that was how it came about. Well, the entrepreneurship just comes with trying to
Yeah.
solve that. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's kind of
it wasn't how I was
it's
thinking
the
about it.
byproduct
Yeah,
of, hey, I'm trying to fix this or
yeah,
solve this or build this.
yeah,
It goes a long way there.
yeah.
Okay. So and then let's circle back to the Chicago food, because
Mm.
that's something that is it's unique across many cities have their own
Yeah,
kind of signature items or cuisine.
yeah.
What what stood out there for you, and what did you really like? What was your go-to?
Um, a couple. Chicago has a lot of restaurants. Like, I think when I think about it, maybe New York is the only place I can think of that has maybe more restaurants. Chicago has a lot of restaurants and a lot, diverse kind of restaurants. So it was it was interesting to sometimes. I remember there are some summers that I'll just want to go to different random restaurants just to
Try
try
it
as
out.
much as possible to,
Yeah.
because there are a whole lot. But yeah, I there were some that I really liked, that I went to, like Oshaval was really good. We used to go, me and my colleagues used to go there, from time to time. They really had good burgers. Um, Also deep dish,
Deep
of
dish.
course,
Yeah.
in
What's
Chicago.
your deep dish place in Chicago?
I think it um, was is it Giovanni's or something like that?
Chobani's? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Um,
And
yeah, that was.
what about the Chicago dog? Because hot dogs are big there, and
Uh, I tried hot dogs, but hot dogs is not. I don't know if hot dogs is my go-to place as much as burgers
yeah,
or
yeah,
deep dish pizza. So
that's
most times when
authorized. Yeah,
when I think about that,
yeah.
that's what I. And there are some other, like.
They have um like is it like celery salt, and they put, it's like a seeded bun with Vienna beef hot dog, I think,
Yeah,
is a
the
big one.
there was, I think, the place I used to eat what you were, I think you are
Mm.
describing is there's one other place, restaurant, I think they call Portillo's.
Yeah, yeah, I've
It's,
tried that out, and
yeah,
they have the
the
beef
big
the beef
sandwich, yeah,
sandwich as well
big.
too.
I think they call it the big beef or
The
something
big
like
beef,
that, or
yeah.
Italian beef,
And I
something like
had
that.
one there. I guess it's a
Yeah.
little bit similar around here. I think it's a
Mm,
Buffalo thing, but you definitely get it here is beef on weck. Have you had
yeah.
one of those yet? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a hot Italian beef sandwich,
Yeah.
but it has a roll with salt and Kimmelwick
Yeah.
seeds on it, and then people, you dip it in the
The
the au
sauce.
jus, the sauce,
Yeah.
but and I like it too. I like put horseradish on it. I think that's yeah, I think it was like Schwabbles or something in Buffalo was the the start of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have to get some food after
Yeah.
that. Anyways, yeah.
There were a whole lot. If there were even some that I feel like was important, because I remember there was this other, I think Middle Eastern food I tried. I can't remember what they were called. I don't know if it was the halal guys.
Halal
They have
guys.
this, it's some kind of yellow rice, and they pour this like pour white sauce on top of
Mm,
mix of chicken and beef. It was
that
also really
sounds
nice.
sounds
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
So diverse um food scene. You're working on. You're enjoying your work at Bosch,
Yeah.
doing the Internet of Things, and so it sounds like life's pretty good. But the call to fix something is really what led you to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So, how did you get from point A to point B in that regard of becoming an entrepreneur and creating Money Pigeon?
So at that point, I was still from Bosch. I was still. I wasn't thinking about. I mean, I was experiencing. Anytime I traveled to Nigeria, I used to experience the problem. Is just I wasn't thinking about it in that way to solve it at that point. And at that point, I think I started getting interested in like machine learning, AI stuff. So I also started learning about it as a hobby on my own. Just and then later on, I moved
Mm.
um, to another company, to Central, and there I was working as an AI engineer. So, so
And what
even
year was that you started working as AI engineer there?
uh, I'm trying to remember. This should be. Don't quote me on this, but I think maybe 2016 or
2000. Okay, so
2017.
that's early. Yeah, I think it's. I see. Accenture. 2017 November. Yeah,
Yeah, 2017 or
I have a
so.
cheat sheet.
I can't remember exactly when.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so then I wasn't. Um, I mean, I think maybe I was thinking about it, but I wasn't
But you
really.
were ahead of the curve. Nobody, as far as like the general public, they didn't know about LLMs or large language models, or weren't really thinking about AI.
Yeah, that at that point, there are a couple of things that will happen before you even started doing the learning side of things. So there's you have to consolidate the data. So so that's also part of something I did, more like the ETL, that basically bringing the data to form some kind of data lake, and from that data lake you can then start trying to get some intelligence from that. uh,
Right on.
so you worked on things like that, worked on virtual assistants thing, but what you really want to do is to apply it so that it's useful to humanity, or to is useful to your client or whoever you're building that for.
That's when you talk about being useful for
Mm,
humanity.
mm-hmm.
There's this, in regards to AI.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of, AI is going to take over the work
Mm-hmm.
and people aren't going to have jobs anymore, and you hear that kind of, just on people are saying that, and then on the other side they're saying the exact opposite, that it's
Yeah.
going to create new jobs and new opportunities and all this abundance that we can't even imagine. People.
Yeah. You know, as with any revolution or any huge technological advancement, there's always some kind of, people usually don't know how what to expect or how things will evolve. But the thing is, most times people don't know exactly how people are going to use those technologies. Like most times, like for example, when the internet came out, it was the usefulness was just very simple, was just straightforward, but nobody knew that all
Yeah.
these
Oh, I
things
got
could
an
come out of it.
email
Yeah,
and I can
exactly.
load this page up and it
Yeah.
takes 3 minutes to load this image.
So
You know?
yeah, the effects of those revolutions happen with time, right? Because right now, I think AI, to me, is still in the early days,
Hmm.
and people are still trying to figure it out. They are still trying to figure out how to use it. They're trying things out. They're trying to see if AI can do everything, or if they have to do it with humans, or if they how much they can use it. There are some people that are still trying to know if they're going to trust it or not trust it,
I think there's a lot of
or
people that don't and
yeah,
don't like it
uh,
because they hear it's going to take away all the
yeah.
jobs. What am I going to do? You know?
Exactly. And then there's the regulatory part of it that's still
Hmm.
going to be figured out, how much should be regulated, how much should not be regulated,
Yeah.
how do we allow it to allow, technological advancement. I mean, if you regulate it a lot and then you stifle it and there's not enough room for advancement. And so
So it's complicated. It
yeah,
is complicated.
people are still figuring it out, and it's still going to morph into how it's going to best serve. What I believe is that it's going to serve humanity. Is going to help, um, just like the different tools like the internet is going to make things better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, then how people are going to use it is still what we have to, is the
We have
interesting
to
part of
figure it
things.
out.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have to
And
figure
how
it
it's
out.
going to
Yeah,
use itself if it
yeah.
becomes where, it's generally smarter than humans and,
We have to see how that
yeah.
goes, and what that actually means to be
Yeah,
smarter.
what could that mean? Because when you're saying, even if it's just hypothetically and it's not really, but if something is that much smarter than us, does it have our the humanity's best interests, or is it maybe like, well, you guys got to change all these things because we have to do things a different way.
I mean, I think the way is going to go. Number one, like you said, if it gets smarter than
Hmm.
humanity, and this still needs to be something that we have to still figure out.
Yeah, yeah.
It might
It's all
just
hypothetical.
it might just be the same way that you say you can have someone that is working for you on a particular thing that is smarter than you on that particular thing, right? Or that can, let me say you're an engineer, for example, and there's someone that is a songwriter, right? You are not a songwriter, but you need a song to be written for you. You can employ a songwriter that is that knows more
Yeah.
than you when it comes to writing songs, and that can write it for you, right? So, either ways, I'm not. What I think should be done is, I feel like there should be a little bit, some kind of regulation, um, just to, because with everything you can use it for good, and you can also use it for bad,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
to try to
Just like the internet.
yeah,
There's a
exactly,
lot
just
there's a
like
lot
the
of bad
internet.
things on the
Yeah,
internet. There's a lot of
exactly.
but it's also changed humanity. It's
Yeah,
probably the same.
absolutely,
I think that
absolutely.
I think that's a fair bet. And you talk about, if you go through history, like the industrial evolution or,
Mm.
steam engine, like all these major things that did transform work. I mean, it's probably I think we haven't even started that period of adjustment yet.
Yeah, I think
But
I think it's going to be here. It will just be the same way the internet or the computer was.
yeah.
It's people are at some point going to get used to it, and remember that, no, these things have to do with generations. They're also a younger generation that this is more like what they are used to or what they are coming up to see, and
Right.
at some point they are going to grow up and they are going to be the ones that are mainly in the workforce and doing everything, and this is what they are used to, so they will use it more of it. So
Yes.
um it eventually is going to come up to be mainstream, right? Just the same way computers are mainstream. There was
Yeah.
a time computers weren't used
No.
the way they are used right now, but at some point, a generation came out and they were seeing computers, they were using computers to do so many things. And as they are growing up and they are occupying and replacing the other generation, they are also bringing up that technology and things that they know and bringing it up, and it has become mainstream.
So overall, I think you're optimistic about the opportunity that this will AI
Yeah,
can afford to solve, which I think
yeah.
is a good thing. Okay.
I think we still have to figure it out completely, how it's going to be. But I think I'm optimistic on all the good things we are going to be able to do with AI.
Yeah, yeah. I tend to agree. I tend to
Mm,
try to be the optimist
yeah,
and shoot for the bet. So when I hear the things that make people go, oh, well, what are we gonna do? That's all that. And I think it's like let's see how it all plays
yeah,
out. I
yeah,
mean, I remember people were calling for every at two at the year 2000
yeah,
there was a Y2K
yeah,
and everything was going to collapse, and you know what, we made it through that fine. I
yeah,
think we're a resilient species
yeah,
and we tend to figure things out for ourselves, even if there is a period of transition, and
yeah.
that's going to be difficult. I think we're going
Absolutely.
to see that in our
Yeah,
lifetime. It's
yeah.
coming. But overall, I think I have the same outlook, and how that will uh, you know play out. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Hmm.
So let's transition into taking that step and starting Money Pigeon. How did that how did that come about? And what was that transition like?
So for me, then I used to travel to Nigeria from time to time, especially like Christmas period. Um, what made me to start Money Pigeon was an experience I had. It was a long story, but I'm going to cut it short. So I went to a restaurant, a local restaurant, with a friend, and I was, it was. I think I've been to that restaurant before. I think maybe when I was in Nigeria or sometime before that time.
Sure.
So I went there. So after everything, it was an evening, like the night, maybe around 10. I think that was when we finished or something like that. And I tried to pay with my card. I didn't bring enough cash. I didn't have enough cash, so I tried to pay with my card, and it didn't work. I tried it twice and it didn't work. So
And this is your American
yeah, my
credit card or
American
bank card or whatever.
American bank card, right?
Okay.
Tried to pay with it and it didn't work. So I the lady didn't find that very funny, um because
She was pissed off.
yeah, she was kind of pissed off,
Yeah.
because we just finished eating, having different things, and then we are now finding it difficult to pay, and we just brought this you know uh, funny looking card to pay, so it didn't wasn't looking very
Yeah, it looked, what's going on
like what's
here?
going on here
Yeah,
exactly.
what's going on here?
So I had to try to find a way to calm her down, and I then reached out
Oh, so
to
she's like really, really mad. Like, she's like
she, she,
she making a scene.
she was trying to I tried to I didn't want the scene, so
Yeah,
I just tried to tell her, okay, we're going to
we'll fix
handle it,
this.
don't
Okay,
worry about that. So what I did was I called my friend that that used to live in Nigeria then. I called him from another side of town. It took him about more than an hour to get there, so he finally got there and helped me build us out and help me clear the bill. But then that experience basically got me really. I mean, I've been facing this issue, and it got me thinking, you know, how I can have my own card. Like, have a proper Nigerian Naira card that I can use and make payments, and not like it to be seamless. So I'm sure it works everywhere, right?
Right.
So the idea is basically something that a local, someone that also lives in Nigeria also uses, so that we know it's reliable. I know it works everywhere. So I don't have to have that
You don't have that
worry.
situation
Yeah,
where
yeah.
there's
It's
this this dust up,
yeah,
and the lady's angry, but it's an honest mistake because
yeah.
you didn't
Of
realize
course.
it's an honest mistake,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you have to call in your friend to cover the bill, and then you owe them money,
yeah.
and that was the genesis, the birth of Money Pigeon
Yeah, that was
that
what
day.
made me to really think about. I mean, at this point it was a problem, and I thought about it and figured out we can actually solve this. We can fix this and make it better. And the exciting thing about it for me was the fact that I am my own customer, right?
Yeah,
Is more like, so it's exciting for me to use it because then it's solving that pain point for me,
yeah,
right? I
yeah.
can I can
That's how a lot
then
of companies start, is
yeah.
I have this problem and
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah. So that being able to just travel to Nigeria and not have that problem, or not have that worry, because most times when you travel you are thinking about, okay, how am I going to pay for this, or what am I going to do, or thinking about the different ways you can pay for different things. But now you don't have to think about that. You don't have to worry about that. It's
Yeah, because they
just
have
seamless.
different, I guess, payment rails.
Yeah, they have. Well, in Nigeria, they also have like other ways of making payments, and that's also another thing that we found out. And this is not just about Nigeria. So in different countries, they have like different payment implementations that they have, like different wallets, like whether it's mobile money, whether it's paying using QR code, or paying using just transfers. So and that was also one of the things that we integrated into Money Pigeon. So that basically the idea is that even if you don't live in a particular country, you can go to that country and pay like a local, right? You can pay like you live in that country. You have access to all the local ways of making payments, all the ways of making local payments in that country. So um, it's more about the trust, the reliability. So
Hmm.
you don't have to be be scared or worried, or be carrying a lot of cash, which
Yeah,
is which
that's the
which
other
is
big thing. You don't
which
want to
is
have to be carrying a lot of cash, and
or
then you
the
have to worry
fraud
about
risk.
exchanging it. If
Yeah,
you're coming from one country currency, you have to
exactly.
exchange it.
And the part that people don't even really think about so much, that us people are worried about, is the fraud risk. um I mean, I'm not from here. What if something happens, right? Like
Hmm.
with my card or something like that. So with this, you don't have to, you know,
It's secure.
worry
Yeah.
about all those
Yeah.
things.
So
Yeah.
how does that work? Just a quick overview of like how that technology works. So I download the app,
Mm-hmm.
and I would connect my American bank card or some way to fund the account,
Yeah. So so
and then
uh, uh,
take me through the steps.
so if you download the app, right? Once you download the app, you can connect like your bank account, or you can use your American bank card, like you said, and you can generate right now a Nigerian Naira card, um, that allow them fund it.
Okay.
So you have that Nigerian Naira card, you can fund it with any amount that you want, and use it to make payments.
And then on the other end, so then and then the payment side, you've connected with those payment rails, and the other ways that you can pay like a local
So
is
so so it's
the
it's
term I
more
heard.
it's a bit like what my friend did for me.
Hmm.
So what my friend did was, he was living in Nigeria then. He had a Nigerian bank account, he had Nigerian card, everything. So he just came and paid for me, right?
Hmm.
So what Money Pigeon is doing is being that friend, right?
Okay.
So you can
Without
just,
having to have a physical friend that you
yeah,
then you owe money to.
exactly.
It's your friend in your
And it's
app.
your
Yeah, yeah.
app and your card. So
Cool.
you can just fund that card and use that Nigerian Naira card to make payments. Um, easily. So
So you've set up the relationships
yeah,
with the local payment
mm,
systems and what's used. So
yeah,
then when you fund it, that is being used when you go and use it at different restaurants or wherever
yeah.
you're paying for
Yeah,
things
so
as you travel there.
absolutely, once we funded, it should just be like the same way a local person will be making payments in different places. Yeah.
So it's a lot, and there's a lot of people that travel back to Nigeria that would be your target market. Who are you serving as you roll this out, mostly because it's focusing on Nigeria. You have the technology set up for the
Mm-hmm.
local payments, and uh, I, I'm assuming the initial market that is the people who go back there every year or in in some frequency.
Yeah, the initial market are I don't know, people like me, are people that go back, but it doesn't necessarily need to only be people that go back, because I know that there are so many times that I want to do something in Nigeria, maybe make some kind of payment for someone or for
Oh,
myself or
so you
something
could
like that.
send it from here. You don't have to
Yeah,
physically be there. You could fund.
yeah, you can have the card, right?
Right.
Because it's on the app. So on the app you can generate a virtual card and a physical card, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me say I want to, and I'm just going to just give you a random scenario here.
Yeah, yeah,
um
it's
this
perfect.
probably has happened to me. So you want to buy lunch for someone, um that you know in Nigeria, you want to buy them lunch. You know a vendor in Nigeria, and you can just reach out to them, and or you don't actually need to reach out to them. You can just go to their site or whatever and just use a Nigerian card to make payment, and you buy them lunch.
Oh,
Or
that's cool.
you want to pay for some kind of bill or something
Maybe you
for.
have, yeah, you have relatives, your son or daughters there, and
Yeah,
they have school bill
yeah.
or whatever it is.
So whatever, yeah, you want
Yeah,
to make payment for in Nigeria, you can use the card, you can use the app to make those payments. So is more about, the whole idea is more about making you feel like you are in that country,
hmm,
or you are a local in Nigeria, even if you are not in Nigeria. So how will, assuming I live in Nigeria, how will I make payment? How will I book my flight? How will I pay for this? How will I do that?
right.
That same way that person that is in Nigeria would do it, this is the same way that you would do it, even though you're not in Nigeria. So it removes all those friction, all
Removes
those
all the friction,
barriers,
so you can have a seamless
and
journey, or
seamless. Yeah,
it's easy to send money back.
yeah,
No more Western Union was a
mm,
way that a lot of people would
yeah,
send money around the world. That comes to mind. And what about tourism? If there's people that maybe are visiting, could that be another? If I was planning a trip, I could download Money Pigeon, and so I could have that set up for me. And
yeah,
it's my first time ever visiting.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. For tourist people, like going to Nigeria or traveling across, you can always, of course, download Money Pigeon. It will be a good way for you to integrate, because when you download it, you know that you are getting the local way of making payments in
It's
Nigeria.
trusted.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
trusted. So you go there, and you know right from the bat you can start making
yeah.
payments from, even from the airport.
That
Yeah.
makes, because I know uh, around here, I don't even know if they still exist, but American Express
Mhm.
would have travelers checks. So it's kind of
Mhm.
like it would be, you could use them when you go on vacation if people didn't want to carry the cash
Yeah.
around, and if you lost it or stolen,
Mhm.
there would be some way they could track it.
Yeah.
So that's um and they were accepted, were had a wide range. So I
Mhm.
think this is like similar as far as the tourism angle of that is something that is similar. It's like the next evolution of that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's focused and working now in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's working out in Nigeria, and our focus really, I mean, we are starting with Nigeria, but our focus really is on emerging markets.
Hmm.
So the idea is to start with Nigeria and then move across Africa and other emerging markets, because we noticed that this problem uh, happens a lot in emerging markets.
Hmm.
Other places might have cards that and things that normally work, but in those emerging markets, there is this gap that exists. There is no deep integration with the local payment systems that are in this markets, like
So
Nigeria.
you're going to market with this game plan. You're testing in Nigeria,
Hmm.
and then the rollout and the scaling this will
Hmm.
be throughout emerging markets
Yeah.
in African countries.
Yeah, we start with African countries, and other, because there are other emerging markets that are not just in
Hmm.
Africa, but yeah, we start with Nigeria, we spread across Africa, then also move to other emerging markets. Yeah.
Awesome. Where where do you see this in like 5 years, 10 years? Where where do you want this to be? Like where you be like, wow, we were like if you look back and say, okay, some pie in the sky goal setting, like, oh, we crushed it. What would that look like to you? How like, is it a amount of markets you're in, or how many people are using this?
So the way we look at it, we look at this, like the vision for this is actually very simple. We want anyone to be able to spend anywhere in the world, just like they will do at home.
Okay.
So
Spend like
anyone,
a local anywhere.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Anyone to be able
You
to
can go
spend
anywhere.
anywhere,
So
just like they would at home. So that same seamless experience, that same trust, that same reliability is what we want everywhere.
so do you see let's build on top of that. That it's going well. Do you see, you know, an exit? What if like a bank or a major financial services firm wanted to acquire you, or would you want to keep this uh and keep it with you and your team and you know have it work on it for the rest of your life building it?
Um, so I feel it's a bit early to know exactly. For us, we want to, even if we are going to is going to get acquired, it's going to still be the same vision, the same
Same
ideology.
vision. It
Uh,
would have to
yeah,
be for something that is aligned
yeah,
with the vision.
because yeah,
Yeah.
we want to have that. If I would say deep integration and penetration, especially for some of those kind of markets, right?
Hmm.
So it will have to also be in line with those ideas.
Okay. And as far as it making money, I'm assuming it's like transaction fees on the money you put in, or by just like any other card or bank transition, there's always some type of
Yeah,
fees involved.
yeah, is more through FX spread,
Okay.
so FX markup. We of course we have to offer the user the exchange rate, and we make money from those markups.
Okay, explain FX spread to someone who may not be familiar.
Okay, so the idea is generally there's um, an exchange rate that is in the market. When I say the market, like there's known
Hmm.
by different
And you
people.
could trade on it.
Yeah,
You could
yeah,
trade on it in on
on
the market.
on that
Yeah, that's what
exchange
the
rate.
FX is.
Exactly.
So you're taking that FX spread and
We put a markup.
putting the markup
Yeah,
in that. Okay, yeah, and I think that's fair because it's the to have that convenience and
yeah,
friction.
yeah,
That that's the benefit, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. And you're also raising money now, and you've actually been through some. I know you were recently out in San Francisco, another great food city,
Yeah, yeah,
with Startup Grind, right?
yeah.
So talk about that a little bit and the fundraising experience.
So we are we are getting ready, getting ourselves ready to raise, and what the experience would be like. And then of course I reached out. I was introduced to Startup Grind. I decided to pitch the idea at Startup Grind. Global. There was a global pitch event that was happening. So in the global pitch event, we were the first runner-up, and part of what comes with that was going all expense paid trip to San Francisco, the Startup Grind conference in San Francisco. Yeah, and there we also did exhibit Money Pigeon. I also did pitch again Money Pigeon, and for us, yeah, we are looking out and making those connections and those networks that we need to be able to. We are looking to actually raise to allow us to um, if I would say fuel the fire, if I should put it that way.
Fuel the fire. Yeah.
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 So
You've got it working. Now you need to fund it
yeah,
and to strengthen the system and continue the expansion.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was more like getting that experience about connecting
And
with
getting
people,
connections. Yeah. Yeah.
pitching.
I thought that was a great program. Shout
Yeah,
out Mike at Startup Grind.
absolutely. Yeah,
He's doing some good work over there with that program.
yeah.
And you're looking to do a seed round now or
At this point, it's going to be still be a pre-seed.
pre-seed? Okay.
Yeah. This is
So
our first raise. Yeah.
okay. And uh is it active? How is that going? What is raising money like now for you?
We are more like still creating that network, and it's going to be active very soon.
Cool.
And going to of course let investors know about that when it happens. So but we a whole lot of everything that is happening has to do with the company, building the company, getting things working
Yeah, you have to build
fine,
the
making that.
network
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you have to have people see the opportunity
yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's so that's great. And well, yeah, we'll include if you're looking to invest, we'll include that in the show notes and
Yeah.
some of the distribution as well. So I as we've covered a lot, but one thing I'm interested at when you're talking about the story of having this big meal and
Mm-hmm.
being a foodie,
Mm-hmm.
right? What was that meal that and who's there that started Money Pigeon when the bank card didn't work and you had that trouble?
So there is, I think it was it was a local restaurant. They
Mhm.
sold I can't remember exactly what we had, but there was this meat dish. Is some kind of I think they use goat meat to
Goat
make
meat.
it,
Mhm.
and they kind of mix it with different vegetables and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, we had, it was more like a relaxed environment. You have small portions of different kind of
So
meat dish, and it
so
was
y'all everyone would kind of try a little bit of the different
yeah.
items.
They normally brought like, it's usually in it's, the experience is better than explaining it, but it comes
Yeah.
in some kind of a wooden dish,
Yes.
and then they'll pack it on top of that wooden dish for everybody, and you can just take it out from there. So I wanted to
Oh.
try that. I hadn't tried it um, in a while, like when I came back. So I,
So now when you go, do you go to the same restaurant and now that you got
of
now
course,
you don't have no worries, no friction there, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
get the same meal.
I always like to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the food is good.
Sounds
So yeah,
delicious. Sounds delicious. Well, thank you for doing this.
yeah.
And where can people find you and connect?
I'm on LinkedIn. I think I'm most active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
People can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah,
All right. Yeah, I'm connected. I have your link. I'll
yeah,
post
yeah.
that. And what about if someone is interested in learning more or becoming an investor?
Yeah.
Is that the best way to reach out as well too?
Once anybody reaches out to me on LinkedIn, we can start talking from there, and we can take it up
Cool.
from. I'm active on LinkedIn, and whenever I get a message there, I always respond. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Ebuka Mgbenka, Money Pigeon, go check it out. Moneypigeon.com.
Yeah. Moneypigeon.com. Yeah.
Moneypigeon.com. Download the app. It's
Yeah.
available on the Google Play Store and so Android and Apple
Yeah.
iOS, Apple App Store, and you know, plan your trip to Nigeria today. If you're going to be a tourist, you can help spread the frictionless system that Ebuka is building here. And it was a real pleasure
Yeah.
talking with you today. And more conversations and more food and good places to share to come.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
I'm very happy to be here, and I'm glad that you considered to have us here. Yeah.
You have a tremendous story. I appreciate you
Yeah.
sharing it. It's really been good getting to know you a little bit more and seeing the genesis and the journey you've had so far,
Yeah.
which has been really interesting. And it's just like you said, we're just at the start of AI. It sounds like you're really just at the start of your journey with Money Pigeon as well too.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck. We'll have you back on soon when you have an update. And thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.